Oh, good morning, yogis. Good morning. Let's begin seated. So come to any comfortable seat. Both legs. Ground your sits bones to the earth and lengthen up through the crown of the head. Let your hands gently rest on your knees. Curl the index fingers in towards your palm and let the thumb gently rest on that nail bed as you extend the other 6 fingers out. For chin mudra, called the consciousness seal. So this helps us to connect us to something greater than ourselves. It helps to calm the mind, make it more receptive. So it's an ideal mudra for meditation. So let's begin here in our centering practice and a brief meditation. Grounding through the sits bones, lengthening up through the crown of the head. Maybe even lengthening up through the back of your skull, so you're nice and long through your neck. Close your eyes and settle here. Being fully present here and now. Deepening the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. On that inhale, feel that downward energy, Panavayu, and that expansiveness as your lungs expand in the sides and the back of the ribs. Exhale, drawing the navel in and feeling that upward energy, maybe even getting a little longer. Let your mind settle. Letting your awareness ride on the current of your breath. Let your ears soften, like you're hearing the sounds of the ocean, the birds, distant voices for the first time. Soften your jaw, maybe give it a wiggle. Maybe coming into a gentle ujjayi breath, that ocean sounding breath, where we constrict the back of the throat so the breath has an audible quality. Anchor your attention to that. If your mind drifts away, gently guide it back and let it ride the current of your breath. Take 3 more breath cycles here. And then let's slowly release our Hasta Mudra, Chin Mudra. Give your fingers a wiggle if you like. So let's lift our hands and draw our hands together. Start our movement practice by joining our voices in the eternal sound of creation, the sound of Om. Come into a wide-legged child's pose. So you can roll over your shins or uncross your legs, coming onto your knees. Feet together, knees apart, extending your arms out in front. Grounding your hands, letting your head come between your arms. And drawing the shoulders down the back, so that they feel nice and stable. Honoring the knees, lifting the hips if necessary to create space behind the knees. Or gently pressing the earth with your hands so that you can send your hips closer towards your heels. Maybe letting your forehead connect with the earth. As you come inward to this child's pose, often called seed pose or wisdom pose, so that you can check in to see how you're feeling today. Noticing how you're feeling in your physical body. Notice how you're feeling in your mind, energetically. And make accommodations for that. Every day is different. And we have to accept where we are. So using that to guide your practice today. Taking 2 more breath cycles here. And then on that next inhale, rise up into tabletop pose. So drawing your hands back so they're underneath your shoulders. Drawing your knees in so they're underneath your hips. Toning the belly and making sure your torso is long. So you may have to bring your hands a little farther forward to lengthen your spine. And then syncing the movement with your breath. Inhale as you lift your sits bones, drop your belly and lift your heart. Exhale. Round the spine and tuck chin into chest. And go back and forth like that, inhaling and exhaling. You can even make the breath a little audible, like an ocean sound, like the sound of the waves. Feel that your spine is moving like a wave. The smooth current, noticing any tight places that you may want to linger or add some breath. And this next time that you're in that cat back, that rounded spine, or the flexion, hold it there and breathe. Maybe see if you could draw the navel up a little higher. Up to the spine, past the spine. Feel your shoulder blades move apart. And then on your inhale, come back to neutral, engaging your core. And then we'll expand the cat-cow by doing this thing called donkey kicks. So you can send the right leg behind you, bend the knee and lift it up to the sky and lift your heart as well. So you're deepening your extension. And then exhale, round the spine and bring the nose towards your knee. Do that 3 more times, inhaling as you lift. Lifting your heart broad across your collarbones. Exhale round as you bring the thigh towards your belly. Really engage your core. Inhale. And exhale. Good. And one more time. And this next time, hold it in and really see if you can lift the thigh to the belly, maybe even flex your foot like you're gonna step your foot between your hands. So we're practicing for a step through. And then inhale, you extend that leg one more time if you like. And then exhale, lower it back to the starting position. Keep your legs where they are, your hips where they are, and extend your arms forward into puppy pose. And you can even turn your palms up to the sky. That may have been a little bit in the wrists, that hand movement in the weight-bearing movement in table. So you can just bring your hands in to make gentle fists and extend them. You could add a little rotation, or you can even come on forearms. And as you're here, lifting your sits bones to the sky, tone the belly, head between your arms, and get a lot of length in your torso. If you like to make this, turn this into a little back bend, you can melt your heart and chin to the earth. Taking 2 more breaths here. And then let's rise up back into tabletop for the other side. Making sure you're rooting through the knuckles, particularly the index finger and the thumb. And engage your arm muscles to protect the wrists and pull out of the wrists. And on your next inhale, let's send your left leg up to the sky, dropping your belly, lifting your heart. And exhale and round, nose to knee. Really lifting that thigh. Feel that this is a little bit of core work. 4 more times, inhaling and exhaling, engaging, lifting the thigh as high as you're able. And inhale. And exhale. And how about one more time here? Let's hold that lift. Yes, drawing the thigh up, flexing your foot. Feel like you can start to step forward. You feel it, almost can do it. Yeah, there it is. And then slowly extend back, lifting your heart, and then exhale, lowering your knee. Now, curl your toes under, send your hips back towards your heels as you extend your arms. You could always go back to child or puppy, but now the invitation is to develop this into your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So when you're ready, you can rise up. Good. And then ground your hands, let your head come between your arms as you lift your hips to the sky. Let's bend our knees a little bit, so really lift the hips. And then bring one leg towards straighter as you extend the heel down towards the earth. And then bend that knee and extend the other leg. And go back and forth like you're walking, pedaling your feet, warming up the calves and the hamstrings. You can even rock your hips slightly from side to side, feeling a lateral stretch on each side. Even peeking under that arm. Looking at everything around you. The water, the birds, the people swimming. And then bring that to stillness. Maybe bend your knees one more time so that you can lift your hips to the sky. Melt your heart towards your thighs. Engage your quadriceps so that as you bring your legs towards straighter, the back of your legs can lengthen and the heels can descend. Take 2 more big breath cycles here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Now this next inhale, let's start to make our way to standing. So let's walk our feet toward our hands. You can take little baby steps. If walking your feet to your hands doesn't feel comfortable, you can always lower your knees down and roll over your feet, coming up from sort of a child's pose or a half lunge. Let's all meet up in our Uttanasana, our standing forward fold. Take a half lift, let your hands climb up onto your shins or your thighs. Lengthen the crown of your head away from your hips. Then go back into the fold, deepening your forward fold, bending your knees, rooting down through your feet and rising up. Maybe sending your arms out to the side, big sun breath, arms overhead to prayer. And then the prayer to your heart. And notice how you're feeling now. Returning to your breath. We're releasing our arms by our sides in Samastitihi, palms facing forward, activating legs, broad across your chest. Maybe roll your shoulders up, back, and down as the fingers reach down towards the earth and you lengthen through the crown of your head. Right. So let's begin with some standing poses. So we'll take a sun breath, arms wide to the side, get long. You can add an extension here if you like by lifting your heart and gaze. And then exhale, hinge from your hips, swan dive, forward fold, Uttanasana. Second time, see how that feels the second time. Softening your knees if you need to. Rise up halfway, let your hands climb up the legs, and then exhale, go back into your fold. Bend your knees, shift your hips back, lift your chest, and then send your arms forward, Utkatasana. Yeah, rising up, maybe sending your arms at a 45-degree angle here. Good, and breathe. Shifting your weight towards your heels. Activating your quadriceps, your glutes. Getting a nice stretch in the calves, the Achilles tendons. Feel the grounding energy of the lower body. That Apanavayu. And that upward lifting of the upper body. Pranavayu. And then from here, shift the weight into your right foot, pick up your left leg, and then you can send your arms down to shoulder height, bending elbows and wrists, and come into Balakikasana, or crane pose. We like to affectionately call it cormorant pose, because these are the birds that we have like this. And we have neighbors here, so if you need help from your friends, just spread your wings a little bit more. Grounding and lifting. And don't worry if you have to lower your foot down. Imbalance is balance in motion, so it's all good. It's finding your crane today. A soft gaze, calm mind, easy breath. And then to transition, let's go into Warrior 3 for a moment. So we'll start to send that left leg back. Your arms can stay out like a T, and as I said, take hold of your friends. We can always do more with support. The crown of your head towards the center of the circle, extending through the heel. Strong standing leg. Calm breath. Take one more breath cycle here. And since we have the support of our friends, let's bend the standing leg and go into a nice single leg squat. And then lower the back leg down, release your arms to the sky, Virabhadrasana 1. That back heel can be lifted, or the back foot grounded if that's more stable for you. You can widen your legs if your balance is feeling a little off today and you need more hip width. Good. Now inhale here. And on your exhale, hinge forward, send your arms back, part your lips, and exhale with a little bit of a cleansing Kriya breath. And then inhale, rising up. Nice. And exhale. Now 3 more times, and you can even add a little vigor if you like. Inhaling and exhaling. Releasing any stuck energy last time. And then rising back up to your Warrior 1 pose. Bring your front leg towards straighter, ground your back foot, open up into Warrior 2. So turning your hips and torso to the side, bending your right knee, lowering your arms to shoulder height. Good. Making sure the knee is pointing towards the pinky toe side of your foot and over your ankle for support. Then bring that leg towards straighter as you bend your elbows and bring your hands to your heart. Pivot your feet to your left side, so your both feet toes are pointing to the left. And then turn the left toes out as you bend that knee and go into Skandasana to the left, side lunge. Yeah. And now let's go back and forth like that 3 more times. So rising up, bend the front knee, rotate your foot, Virabhadrasana 2. Good. Come back through center like a prasarita, hands to heart, bend left knee, and there we go. A skandasana to the left. And go back and forth 2 more times and go to whatever depth feels comfortable for you. So maybe today your warrior 2 is a little high, or maybe your skandasana is a little higher or a little deeper. Maybe you're dropping your hips to the earth. So you decide. Last one. Just always accommodating how you're feeling in your body. Good. Nice. And come back over here to your skandasana. Let's hold warrior 2 for a moment. So generally this is our widest stance, right? We might want to drop the hips in line with the knees, or maybe we're not that deep. Our arms are as active as our legs. Even look back at your left hand and make sure it's sort of tracking in line with your torso. And then gaze down the middle finger of your right hand for 1 more breath cycle. Good. Activating every part of your body mind. And then bring your right leg towards straighter. If you took a wide warrior 2, as we move to triangle, you may have to step in with your back leg. And then prepare by tucking the right hip under, reaching forward with your right arm and rib cage. When you can't go anymore, right arm down and left arm to sky. Good. Beautiful. And breathe. Lengthening the crown of your head towards the center of our circle. Spinning your heart open. Reaching the right arm down, left arm up. Taking 1 more breath here. And then lower the left hand down to meet the right. Pivot your hips towards the center of this circle, or to the forward orientation. Pivot on the ball of the back foot. We'll go into a pyramid. You can interlace both hands on your right thigh, or they could even lower on the leg. As you draw your right hip back, lengthen the crown of your head away from your hips, keeping your torso parallel to the hips, or melting your heart towards your knee, your head towards your knee. You can even release your hands to the earth, right underneath your shoulders. Sometimes I like to bring them forward and press myself back and remind myself to draw the hips back and get a nice stretch in both legs. Intense side stretch. Good. And now let's bend our front leg. Send our arms back up to the sky. Virabhadrasana 1. 1 more time. And then lower all the way down onto that back knee. So lower that knee down. Good. Here we are. And then send your left arm forward and right arm back. Open up your torso to the side in this first little knee down twist. Good. Yeah. Wringing out the belly, broad across your chest, your collarbones. Maybe looking back behind you towards your right thumb. Getting some rotation in your neck. And then let's windmill our hands down to frame our left foot, our right foot. So our left hand could come down, right hand could frame the outside of that foot. Bring right knee to meet the left. Hands come a little forward of where they are now, of your shoulders, so that you can shift your hips forward, coming off of the kneecaps, and find a modified plank pose. Your rib cage is in line with your hips. Bend your elbows back as you lower all the way down onto your belly. Yeah. Uncurl the tops of your feet. Ground your belly, your hands, and roll up, lifting your heart, rolling the shoulders down the back. Little cobra. And 2 more times. Exhale, lower down. And inhale, rising up. And exhale, lower down. 1 more time. Inhale, rising up. This time, let's press up through hands and knees. Curl our toes under, hips to heels, then hips to sky. Adho Mukha Svanasana number 2. Good. And again, you can pedal your feet if you like. You can lift the hips, pressing the thighs back, letting the heels descend. Core engaged, head between your arms. Maybe even shake your head yes or no. Good. Nice. And then yogis, when you're ready, let's slowly walk our feet toward our hands, back to our Uttanasana. Good. Bend your knees, lift your torso, rising up into Utkatasana. Good, all right. Shifting your weight back towards your heels. And then let's finish with a lion's breath, releasing any tension that may have accumulated from that little vinyasa. So bend your elbows. Inhale here, exhale by opening your mouth, sticking out your tongue, and looking towards your third eye. Inhale, come back to your Utkatasana, and then with your strong legs, rise all the way up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana. If you like, you could even lift your heart and take a standing back bend here. Sending your arms wide, receiving your practice today. And then you could circle your arms all the way down by the side, Samastitihi, pausing and noticing how you're feeling now. Ready for the other side? All right. All right, this time let's go right through Utkatasana. So bend your knees, squatting down, reach your fingers towards the earth. Keep your lower body in that squat and lift your upper body. So feeling that balance, yoking, the grounding, and the upward lifting energies. Yeah, good. Yeah, making sure your knees are happy, maybe shifting the hips back so you can see your toes. A little tone to the belly. Good. And now let's shift our weight into our left foot. Pick up that right leg. Balakikasana or cormorant pose. Good. Yeah, and this is whatever height feels comfortable for you with the foot. You could have the toe just grazing the earth so that you have a little support. You could lift it a little or up to hip height. You could even play with the hip lift a little bit and explore that. Yeah, find a soft gaze. Calm mind and breath. And now let's transition to our warrior three. So when you're ready, we'll start to send the right leg back, maybe extending our arms and reaching out to our friends. And then as you extend the leg, point the toes down if you can, and your hip. Dorsiflex the foot and extend from the crown of your head to your heel. Engage your standing leg, activate that glute. And breathe, calm breath. Calm mind. And then one more breath cycle as we bend the standing leg, lower the lifted leg, and rise up into our Virabhadrasana 1. Good, and find your placement today. Your knee over the ankle, back heel lifted if you can in Kripalu version, or ground the foot for more stability. Inhale here, exhale, hinging forward at a diagonal warrior with that gentle Kriya breath. And 3 more times. Inhale and exhale. And inhale. And last one. And then rising up to your warrior 2 pose, straighten your front leg, ground the back foot, open your hips to the side, bend the front knee, and send left arm forward, right arm back. Virabhadrasana 2. Good, here we are. Nice. And then straighten that front leg, hands to heart, as you pivot your feet to the right, and then bend the right leg, Skandasana. Back through center, warrior 2 pose. Good. And the hands to heart, bend right leg, Skandasana to the right. And 2 more times like that. Externally rotate that left foot, knee over the ankle, hands to heart, Skandasana to the right side. Maybe going a little deeper now, feeling that nice stretch in your groin, rising up. Good. Breathing here. And back to center last time. Maybe even holding for a moment. So you get that nice adductor stretch. Feeling that right glute. Rising back up to center. And then warrior 2 pose. Left side, yeah. Keeping our shoulders over our hips, our arms are active. Maybe looking back at your right hand, seeing if it's in line with your torso. Gazing down the middle finger of your left hand for one more breath cycle. And then on the next inhale, bring your left leg towards straighter. Step in with the right foot if you took a wide warrior two stance. Tuck that left hip under, reaching forward, and then lower your right hand wherever it wants to go, your left hand, sorry. Right arm to sky for Utthita Trikonasana. Drawing the crown of your head away from your hips, spinning your heart to the right, maybe even slightly skyward. Focusing your gaze down at your left foot, forward, or up toward your right thumb. And then slowly lower your right hand to meet your left. Pivot on the ball of your back foot, turning your back foot toward the center of the circle, hips forward, pyramid pose, Parsvottanasana. Hands could be onto the thigh as you draw your left hip back, the crown of your head away from your hips, finding that length in your spine. Pausing here, getting a nice stretch in both legs. Or you can deepen it by sending your heart over the left leg. Letting that back leg be your grounded leg. Front knee could soften as necessary. Feeling that stretch in both legs, intense side stretch. And then, yogis, let's start to rise. Let's soften our front knee. And start to rise up, arms to sky, Virabhadrasana 1. Good. Maybe sending the right leg back a little bit so you can bend the knee and slowly, with control, lower down into your knee down warrior 1. Yeah, you can have the support of your leg if you need to get down there. Then once we have arrived, we'll send our right arm forward, left arm back, and find a rotation to the left, wringing out the belly. Yeah, squeezing all of our organs, getting the digestion going for the day. Nice. Take one more breath here. And then windmill, right hand down, left hand follows. Left knee goes back to meet the right. Modified plank pose. Sending the hips forward. Bend your elbows by your rib cage. Lower all the way down with some tricep strength. Come onto your belly. Uncurl the toes. Send your arms a little wide this time. Come onto tented fingers, so a wide cobra. Good. And then lift your heart, roll the shoulders down the back. Good. Yeah, and then exhale, lower down. And again, lift up. This time, bring your right elbow or your right shoulder towards the midline and look to the left. Good. And then exhale, lower down, come back through center. And then rising up, bringing left shoulder toward midline and look to right. And then lower down. And then one more time through center, rising up, lifting your heart, rolling the shoulders down the back. Good, just like you're a cobra, rising up. And then exhale, lowering down. Press up through hands and knees. Send your hips toward your heels, and then your hips to the sky. Last dog pose. Oh, and breathe here. Again, remembering to shift the weight towards the roots of the fingers, even if you have to level out your surface. Sometimes we even need to add a prop under the heels of the hands. Maybe you're keeping your knees soft to be able to lift the hips skyward and get more length of your torso. Or you're engaging your leg muscles to allow the back of the legs to relax. Take 2 more breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Now let's walk our feet toward our hands. You can take little baby steps. You could come onto your knees or come through a half lunge. We'll all rise up and meet into our standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Let's take a half lift. Press your hands onto your thighs or shins. Get long. Take that length back into your fold, and then bend your knees until your belly's on your thighs. Then lift your chest. One more Utkatasana. Yeah, shifting the weight back towards the heels. Settle in for a moment. And then when you're ready, we'll finish with one clearing lion's breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, extending your arms overhead, rising up, getting long, maybe taking an extension here. And then exhale, let's lower a right hand onto our belly and a left hand onto our heart to notice how we're feeling now. Returning to the centering breath. Noticing the currents of your energy now. The vibration of prana, of chitta, the vibration of Om. Let's come down onto the earth and we'll meet with our knees bent and our feet on the earth. Let's do a round of Navasana. So you can hold on to the backs of your hamstrings or just behind the knees. Let your toes come down and your heels can lift a little bit. Ground through your sits bones, lift your sternum and draw the back body in, lifting your heart and gaze. Good, nice. Now, notice that you're feeling the low belly starts to activate, and you can stay here. But if it feels okay, you can lift one leg or the other leg into reverse table. Keep drawing the back body in, lifting your heart. You could extend your legs. And then in either position, you could release your legs if that feels comfortable. But to keep lifting your heart, activating your legs, and breathing. Take one more breath here. And then slowly lower your legs. Yeah. Lift up, rise up to seated, and let your knees drop out and come to a bound angle. Yeah. Lifting our heart. Okay, one more boat pose. Yeah. Here we go. Let's go into our Navasana. So when you're ready, find that balance point on your sits bones, lifting your heart and drawing the back body in. Maybe keeping just the heels lifted or lift one or both legs. Maybe even straightening your legs, gazing at your toes. Let your toes be your drishti. And then potentially extending your arms. You're drawing the back body in. Take 2 more breath cycles. And then lower your feet. Let your knees drop apart and bring your feet together. You can hold on to your shins or the tops of your feet. I even like to have the soles of my feet come together so they touch, and let the thighs just drape down towards the earth, grounding through sits bones, lengthening up through crown of head. Oh, yogis, take one more breath here, and then let's release. Take your hands on your outside of your knees and closing your legs like a book, and then extend your legs into Dandasana, staff pose. Grounding your hands by your sides, pressing your hands into the earth, lifting your sternum. Yeah, take a little seated back bend here. Good. Rolling the shoulders down the back, drawing your shoulder blades together. Maybe lifting your gaze, you're opening your throat, even parting your jaw. You could even exhale here. And then come back through center, bending the right knee, planting the foot on the earth, creating a little space between the right foot and the left leg if that feels more stable in your hips. Hold that right knee in, up towards the sky, as you reach your left hand towards your left leg, and then wrap the elbow crease around the knee, rotating to the right. That right hand could come onto the earth behind you, staying long. broad across your collarbones, maybe looking over the right shoulder or towards your left foot. Maybe let's all look to that left foot for a moment to keep that leg active as well. And then exhale, looking back behind you, deepening the rotation. And then slowly derotate, come back through center, extending our right leg. Good. And pausing back through Dandasana once again, just to get more length as we prepare to go to the other side. So bending the knee, planting the foot on the earth. Good. Holding left knee to sky as you reach towards your right leg, and then wrap the elbow crease around the knee, hugging it in, using that as leverage for your rotation to the left. Left hand can come behind the back. A little breathing. Nice. And then slowly coming back through center, unwinding, extending your left leg to meet your right. And pausing here. And now let's use one more time. And this time we're going to use it to roll all the way down onto our backs. So you can use the support of your legs or your hands or your elbows and come all the way down onto your back. Making a little room for your hips or the back of your head. Your arms by your sides. Let's go do a little bridge flow. So grounding through your feet. Maybe even drawing the heels closer to the buttocks. Separating your feet hip width or whatever feels comfortable for you but doesn't cause any knee strain. Arms by your sides, grounding down. The back of your head is grounding down. And then lifting your hips, using your strong legs to lift the hips, the mid back, the upper back. And then on an exhale, you can slowly come down. Let's do that 2 more times. Each time rising up a little higher. And then exhale. And this next time, rise all the way up. Drawing your inner thighs toward each other so they're active. Tailbone drawing toward the knees so you're lengthening your spine. The feet, the arms, and the back of your head are your grounding points. Taking one more breath here. And then slowly coming down. And pausing here. Let your knees come together and let your feet draw apart, a little bit wider than hip width, and pausing here. You can even send your arms out like a T and spin your palms up to the sky. And then let the right knee drop over to the right. And then rolling over your feet, let your knees drop over to the left. As your knees go in one direction, let your nose go in the other direction. And rock side to side a few times. Windshield wiping your legs. Getting movement in your hips. A gentle rotation of your spine. And the soothing rocking motion to calm the nervous system. The next time you go to the left, you can hold there. And then the next time you come back through center, you can go to the right and hold it there for a moment or two. And then come back through center one final time, walking your feet back together to constructive rest. If you like, you can give your legs one squeeze here in a supine child's pose, peeling nose to knees, and then slowly lowering down as you extend one leg and the other. Preparing for our final relaxation pose. Letting your feet drop out, sending your arms out by your sides in a low V, spinning your palms up to the sky, grounding through the backs of your hands, maybe lifting your chest so you can draw your shoulders together, and ground through the back of your head. So we can rest here now with our open palms and our open heart, ready to receive the benefits of our practice. To return to that still place that we began. The place of our true self. So take another big willful inhale. As you exhale here, fully supported by the earth. You can stay here as long as you want. To restore your vital energy and absorb the Shanti, the peace of yoga.